to Romance Rex, where book besties explore the world of romance novels and encourage you to expand your TBR. Join us as we dive into the hottest releases and hidden gems of the genre. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok at Romance Rex Pod. Hi guys, this is your favorite. It's Dev. I know.
Excuse me.
Hold your applause, babes.
Wow.
Oh, Jordan's here too.
Shots and our guest, but shots fired. Jesus. Don't mind us.
It's okay, you're both my favorite.
Right. It's the Dev Show. Welcome, everybody.
Wow.
Thanks for being here. Okay. All right. So right now, this is very exciting because the book that I am about at the midway point of actually belongs to our esteemed guest of the evening.
Oh.
And we'll go into that later, but I am currently reading The Crown Prophecy by Meg Acuna. And I just finished, right before starting this, Daydream by Hannah Grace. That's where I'm at.
And I'm Jordan, your real favorite. I am currently reading To Carve a Fey Heart by Sonia Odette. And I am just starting an advanced listener copy of The Dissection and Reassembly of Cohen Horde by Alessa Hagberg.
Interesting.
It's sci-fi, so we'll see.
Oh.
Sci-fi romance?
Mm-hmm. Or so it says.
Nice.
We'll see.
Nice.
You never know. And we have a guest. You can go ahead and introduce yourself. Hi.
Hi, I am the aforementioned Meg Acuna. I will not attempt to return shots because y'all probably don't know who I am. So I'm not anybody's favorite yet. I'm so happy to be here. I've been a listener for a very long time. And my current read is Measure of a Man by Anna Days 22 on AO3. It's a Dramini fic.
Yes. We love to hear that. We love to hear AO3 Rex. And
so good.
Yeah.
First of all, we're going to take it back to where I mispronounced your last name, Meg. It's Acuna, not Acuna.
Nobody ever gets it. It's fine. I like to say Acuna rhymes with petunia, but I did not give that spiel to you before we started recording, so not your fault.
I
thank
actually
you.
love that. That's really cute. But thank you for saying it the correct way. So I now know how your last name is said because I like to make sure that I'm saying the right way. Mm-hmm. So thank you. Also, on the book you're reading, very interested. I feel like I've seen that around.
I am on like a Dramini binge right now, so I read a dozen of them this year. I'm only like 20% into this one, but so far it's really good. It's definitely very slow burn. It's a long one. I just love them because you've got 7 books of history before you even start on page 1 of whatever the fanfic is. So it's just, there's so much depth, to the romance.
And because it's fanfic, you truly don't know where it's going.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's the fun part is because you don't know this author.
Yes.
It could be anything.
I know. Christina would eat this up. She loves AO3. So
shout out to Christina.
Yeah.
Shout out to Christina. I don't have a quote for you guys. I apologize. However, I do have a rave. I am going to rave about the fact that I am the luckiest princess in the world. And
you are hyped up on yourself tonight. This is just wonderful. No, I'm here for it.
I'm just so lucky. Okay, guys, if you follow me on socials, you know that the last 2 weeks or so, I've received arcs of some of my most anticipated reads, like things that I might sell my left leg for, but I've gotten them for free. So like, we don't need to sell body parts. Cool. I have an arc of Out of the Woods by Hannah Bonham Young. Y'all know that's my girl.
I forgot you got that. Fuck.
That I know. See, and that is I'm talking about it. I'm getting hot, so I'm really excited about that. And then I also have Spiral by Bal Cabra, which is the second book in her series. The first was Collide. I am so excited to read that. Like, y'all have no idea. Currently waiting on somebody to approve my Lost and Lassoed request.
Me too.
But
just give it to the pod. We'll take it.
That would make my day. So yeah, that is my rave. I'm just really thankful and lucky that authors make it so, authors and the publishing houses that they're with make it so easy for us to access their books before they come out. So shout out to NetGalley, shout out to the publishing houses, and shout out to the authors. Thank you for doing what you do because you make people like me so happy to read your work.
Yeah.
That's my rave.
That's a good rave. It's a good problem to have.
Yes,
too many good arcs that you're looking forward to. I was going to do a rant, but I'm going to say my rant. I actually found a quote from one of my favorite reads of the year. I was just like, I just have to read it because it makes me so happy. And also, this is an author goal of someone else I would love to have on the pod. So this is from Leather and Lark by Bryn Weaver. A snow globe, I say slowly, waiting for her to look up, which she doesn't do. You made a severed finger into a feckin' snow globe? It was almost Christmas, she says with a shrug. It felt festive. It's a finger. It's a finger in a snow globe with glitter.
I have to know, a real finger?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
He found it in a hidden spot in her home. And just, yeah, it felt festive. Just a finger in a snow globe. And
I'm going to enter that into evidence.
Yeah.
I just love it because he's slowly mentioning this and she just refuses to look at him. That's my favorite part though. That's my Bryn Weaver quote from Leather and Lark. Amazing. Meg, I don't know, did you bring a quote or do you have
I did.
Yes.
Yay. Yeah, I did my homework. Mine is short and sweet. It's from A Study in Drowning by Ava Reed. Oh. And I just think that this is a message that's in a lot of books, but it isn't said outright. But I love this. It's, you don't have to take up a sword. Survival is bravery too.
Oh,
okay, so I've been dying to read A Study in Drowning. So how did you like that book?
I gave it a 4 out of 5. The writing is beautiful. The author is so incredibly talented. I felt like I wasn't invested enough in the characters, especially because it's a standalone, which I'm sure we'll talk about later. I struggle with standalones, but the writing, I mean, she's so talented and the prose was just beautiful.
Yeah, okay.
That was a beautiful quote though.
Yeah. So, yes, guys, as you can tell by our long-winded intro, but also the things we were talking about, we have Meg here to talk about all things The Crown Prophecy, what she's reading, what she's doing, what it's like being an author, a content creator, a mom, all the things. So we're really excited that you're on the podcast today, Meg. Thank you so much for being here. And
thank you for having me.
Of course.
We met Meg this summer at our book meetup, which is how we discovered her and her book journey. And we've been anxiously awaiting this. And so
the most fun event. I remember at the meetup, I was talking to somebody else who was also writing, and I was like, oh yeah, like I'm working on, getting my book out into the world. And I pulled it out, and I can't remember if it was one of you guys took it out of my hands and ran and was like, everybody look. And that was like
that was totally
Thank you for being my hype woman, because I was like, I wouldn't do that for myself, but it was so funny.
Oh, we will hype you up.
Oh, yeah. Look no further. The cheer section is right here, babe. We will hype you up. And that is definitely a dev move, to yank something out of someone's hand and take off to show it to someone else. So, definitely
awesome.
Me.
That was the first event we've done, and it was so fun. I have to say, thank you for appreciating it, but we had so much fun too. And I think the other author was Eliza Leone. I've been slowly going through her book. Her book is cozy, and so I like to read it before bed when I'm not super immersed in books I have to finish. So I've been going through hers too. We were fortunate with our awesome people that came out. I know.
Meeting all of those cool people. It was really nice. We'll be having another event, so
it's in the works.
You heard it here first.
I will be there.
This one should be. I'm really excited for the next one. I have to admit, I'm pretty excited.
We're pumped about the theme for the next one. So before we get distracted and carried away, we are going to open up the floor to you, Meg, and basically, tell us about yourself and your upcoming release and any other announcements that you kind of want to make or talk about. But this is your stage right now to just talk about yourself, which I know is really hard. We will help. But just say all the things.
No pressure, no pressure. You would think I would be used to this because I am a YouTuber. That's my full-time job. But every time, I'm still nervous every time after 7 years. My name is Meg. I am a YouTuber and a mom of 2. I am a lover of all things cottagecore, so you can usually find me gardening, baking, at the thrift store, basically doing anything that your grandma would do. I am about to release my debut novel, and I'm so excited, and I'm freaking out, and I'm just so stoked to share it with the world.
Well, tell us, it's so cute, and I've watched some of your stuff, and I just love it. It's so cute, and having met you, it matches up with exactly what I see, and you're just so kind, and I was so excited to read this book. Can you tell us a little bit about The Crown Prophecy, your new novel. Maybe like where did this idea come from? Like where it's at now? Like just kind of
Yeah,
How did it
absolutely.
happen?
So this actually started as a NaNoWriMo project, funnily enough. And it was one of those things before NaNoWriMo got into all the hot water with the AI stuff. This was not this year.
Right.
Disclaimer. But yeah, I've been writing and binding my own fantasy novels since I was like 8 or 9 years old. I would take cardboard and painter's tape and enter them at the Young Authors Fair. And I've been writing forever. I wrote my first full length novel when I was like 15. I'm sure it's garbage. But this story in particular just kind of lodged itself in my brain and was like, I am not leaving until you write the whole thing. So that is kind of how it got started.
I love that. I love that. And I love that you've been in this world of writing and wanting to write for so long, because that just shows like how your book comes out at the end of this month, right?
It
But
does, yes,
like
October 28th.
this is right. This has been in the works for years. You've been building up to this moment for years. So I love that. I love that for you.
Thank you. The imposter syndrome is like nuts for, I think, all authors. I don't know, maybe Sarah J. Maas doesn't get it, but I feel like I literally have a degree in English literature and I'm still sitting here, oh my gosh, who am I to do this? And I have a piece of paper that says I can.
I am not
Yes.
surprised. After reading your story, I am not surprised. I love the way you write. Like, I was telling this to Deb. I was like, there's something about, I could really tell you have like, this sounds weird, but an amazing vocabulary. Like, to me,
thank you.
I'm like, some books I read, I'm like, this author's using a thesaurus a lot. Like, they've never used this word in their life. But I read your book and I'm just like, this girl is educated. She knows what she's writing about. She is well informed. She knows. Like it comes through in the writing. It feels genuine too. So I just, yeah.
Thank you. I think one of the great things about it being a nano project is that I had no intention of publishing it when I started it. And so I really just got to write what I wanted to write and not what I thought was marketable. And then through the process of sharing it with, over time, I've had a dozen beta readers and a developmental editor and a copy and line editor. And eventually it got to the point where I was like, I think I actually want to share this. But it was something that I wrote for me. And it just kind of feels like me in a book, which I think was really cool and fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that came through.
Yes, I will agree. That comes through for sure. After, like Jordan said, just meeting you and then reading your words, reading the story. And, I'm only halfway through, but I feel like you show up in your work, and not a lot of people can pull that off without it being like super cringy or just, I don't want to read this. Is this your life story? Which, this may not be your life story, but I just feel like there are elements
Thankfully
of
not.
you. Well, I don't know.
Goes on spoilers. Spoiler list.
Deb's not there yet. I'm like, no.
The spoiler list, like summary for the people who are listening.
What? Oh, is there one?
I have just a couple of sentences. Basically, the story is about Quinn, who is this like hot-headed but non-magical palace baker who gets caught up in the affairs of the crown prince. And the prince is like begrudgingly holding this competition to choose a magic-wielding bride. And it kind of looks like that's all it is at surface level. And then Quinn slowly finds out that the contest is masking a darker truth. And she finds herself helping him to decipher this cryptic prophecy that might be their only chance of saving the kingdom. They're thrown together a lot, obviously. It's high stakes but cozy vibes, and it's got all my favorite tropes like found family and who did this to you and mutual pining and forbidden romance and fated mates. And if you like a dark-haired love interest whose preferred manner of flirting is banter, this is the book for you.
Yeah.
Yes, we do love all those things, actually. We do love. It could never be a blonde. It could never be a blonde.
No. Oh, Draco's the only one allowed. Maybe PETA.
Right. Well,
maybe PETA.
I could do PETA, but that's also because he was up against Gale. So
I haven't read Aaron Warner. I know the girls.
Oh my god,
you
have to read Shatter Me. It's so good.
I do want to read
I gotta
it.
give it another chance then. I think I just wasn't in the mood when I tried it.
You wasn't in the mood? Yeah.
This is
the blondest.
Well, I didn't. I don't know. It's a heavy one. It's a heavy.
Yeah. How far did you get into it?
I don't. I was listening to it on Libby, and I was like, "This is too heavy for me right now."
Really?
The first one is really. I mean, it starts with her in an asylum, basically.
Yeah, like in a like I. Yeah.
In solitary.
We're getting away from Crown Prophecy. Let's bring it all back.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay.
Let's talk about
But
I could talk about Shadow Me forever, but I won't.
Yeah.
I will zip it.
Okay, I think I remember from our meeting too. I think you were talking with Christina. Was it you about the selection?
I did bring the selection to give away in the
because
the
I
gift.
was reading this, I was like, this is giving selection vibes. Like not enough to where I'd be like, oh, she wrote this like the selection. I wouldn't like, it's not like that. It's just I mean, there's a competition for what it's not really a competition like that. I don't know if it's because I heard you talking about it, so I put that together, but I was like, okay.
I did love that series. I loved it, and I was like, what if it was the selection but spicy, and what if the main character is not one of the contestants?
Yeah, I love that. I can't wait to get to the end of the book to see how Quinn fits into this, because obviously going in, I know she's the main character. I know she's the main love interest, but I'm like, baby, where's your magic? You can't enter this contest. What are you doing? You better get to the kitchen. Speaking of, sorry, before we dive too much, I know.
None of this away, just in a she's a baker way.
Yeah, right. Sorry, guys. Quinn is a baker, okay? I am not like downing where she belongs. There is no space a woman belongs, okay? We belong everywhere.
I'm gonna just clip just you saying get back to the kitchen, and I'm just gonna
just blast that. I love that.
Yeah, that's my blackmail to you. If you ever need it, like it's
Dev said, get back to the kitchen.
Girl, get back.
But the reason I even bring up the kitchen is because I'm a chef, and every time I read like fantasy books, romance books, I'm constantly looking at the food that they're making, because my dream would be to recreate some of my favorite dishes from books that I've read and movies and stuff like that, and put them in a book. Ooh, I read this book. They made this meal. Like, I'm obsessed with that. So what I really love about Quinn being a baker and like being in the kitchens is that you're very descriptive of the baking process. Your description of laminating, like the lamination process for croissants, chef's fucking kiss. Let me tell you something.
And without being boring. Without being boring.
Yay!
Without being boring. Because
it didn't feel like... Yeah, right. So as a chef, I understand why I like it. But then think of it as just a reader, I'm like, I'd be writing this down. Like, I'd be like so interested in what she's doing next. It didn't feel like frivolous content or like something you just stuck in there because we know Quinn's a baker. It was very intentional, and I absolutely loved how like correct you were, one, in that process, right? Because not a lot of people think that you just put some dough and some sugar together and you have a croissant. No, croissants are like hard. Croissants are freaking hard, okay? She's over there whipping meringues. Like, these are hard tasks to do. But yeah, I really love that. So as a foodie, as a chef, I really appreciate the way you describe the food in the series or in the book, especially
and the kitchen dynamic. And the kitchen dynamic of earning your respect and people feeling like they jumped the line and
Yes. I love that. Love that.
Thank you. You should see my Chrome tabs. I have a whole recipe, or I have a whole folder of so many recipes that I would like literally go through all the steps because I really like adding texture to a story. So I want the smells and the taste. Like, I want you to feel like you're there. But I also really wanted to get it right. So I wrote everything, and then I actually hired a chef to go through it and make sure everything was correct. And luckily I actually only made one mistake. So I was pretty proud of that. I do a lot of baking, but I made sure that it was really authentic to what it was.
Yeah. You did the research. Yeah.
And it shows. Yeah. It really does show. You did that. Great job there. So now that we've talked about what the Crown Prophecy is about, who our characters are, what's at stake here, the food. What's the process of publishing been like for you? So like, we know it's not officially out yet, but you've had to get to quite a few steps to get to it coming out at the end of this month. So yeah, walk us through what it's been like for you, especially being an indie author. Like, how has that process been?
Gosh, it has been crazy, and there's so many things that I wish I could go back and tell myself a year ago. I actually started the traditional querying process and went through that whole thing. And I actually was lucky enough to get a lot of interest from agents and from smaller publishing houses. I think partially because I do have a social media following since that's my job. But ultimately, the wall that I ran into is nobody is really willing to take on the financial risk of a duology for a debut novel. And I just felt like
Mhm.
I couldn't do Quinn and Evander's story justice in one book. I don't
Yeah.
really read standalones. Especially for fantasy. I'm like, it kind of has to be a series. So
Yeah.
ultimately, I actually pulled all of my submissions from the people who were considering the full manuscript who had requested it and decided to go the self-publishing route, which is
Wow.
scary and a lot of work, but ultimately I think it was the right decision for the story. And I'm really excited to get to write another one because I can do that. I'm giving myself permission.
Wow,
Yeah.
way to go. You're so brave. Look at
Thank
you.
you.
Like, I
I'm
mean,
doing it scared. I'm doing it scared.
that's amazing
Yes.
though. I love
Yes, that's
that.
my motto. I do love that, especially because so many people think that once you start querying, like that's the end all be all. Like you have to wait for someone to accept you, whether you get rejections or people's interest. Like that doesn't have to be the end. You can literally say, you know what, this is not right for this story, because that's the truth. You may write another book that you're like, okay, yeah, fine, I'll give it to a
Mhm.
traditional publisher. But like knowing that you're sticking to the story that you have in your head, and Quinn and Evander's story just makes it so much more wholesome that you're doing this for this book, for the characters, and for how you want that to reach your readers. So that's really impressive. You see what I'm saying
Yeah.
about the mixing words? That's really impressive. I'm
Thank
so
you.
proud of you.
Oh, I am blushing. Yeah, I didn't
No,
want to
yeah,
nerf half the
truly.
story. I was like, this is not,
Yeah.
I don't want to water it down and I don't want to nerf half the story just to get this out in the world. So I just decided to do it and I'm really excited about how it's turned out. I've had, of course, hired lots of help along the way, editors and cover designers and all that, but it's been definitely a growing process of learning. I mean, even just the file formatting, I had no idea how much I would get hung up in file formatting. Like it's nuts, but we did it. We're
Yeah.
there. It's available for pre-order, so we got there eventually.
Oh,
Yes, y'all heard that,
yay.
right? Out right now. Pause the episode. Pause it. Quickly, hurry up. We'll wait. Okay, go pre-order. Hurry up and come back.
Amazon, Target, Barnes& and Noble, signed copies at my website.
Barnes and
Yeah, I need a Barnes and Noble. I love that. That just caught up to me.
Also, I have to
Um,
say, I did see there's a giveaway on Goodreads. So
I've
if
There
already
is?
if
submitted to the
go
Ooh,
Goodreads.
you found
I've
go
it.
already submitted.
follow, go
Oh, please let
follow,
me send it to you
submit.
guys. Let me send you the
No, I want
physical.
to pay for. Like, I want to give
We're
you
gonna buy it.
the.
Yeah, we're
No, I
gonna
want to
buy
buy
it. But
it,
thank you.
and then at the next event, I want you to sign it.
Oh
Yes.
my goodness.
So I
You're
want to
so
buy
sweet.
it because I want. I mean, of course, if you want to send, if you do special editions in the future, I'll let you send me that. But
Right.
for
Yay.
now, I want to give you what you are owed. You
What
already
you
sent
deserve.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're
me,
so
yes, what you
sweet.
deserve. You put so much into this. I really appreciate you wanting to send it.
Yes.
I will accept the payment in form of a signature later.
You know what I'll
Yes.
bring you
Same.
to at
Appreciation.
the next event is I'm developing Quinn's cardamom button candles.
Yes. Oh.
So I will bring you guys the candles. Actually, my YouTube manager used to do candle making and she and I are working on it together. And I don't think I'm going to put them for sale or anything, but I'm just sending them with the arcs. So I'll bring you guys some of those.
Okay,
Are you
I
the
will
PR
also accept
box for
that.
the ARCs?
I am very
That
small, only to a
is.
handful of influencers, but I wanted to like,
Oh, okay. That's
it's
different.
I
No,
wanted to
I'm
do
just
it
kidding.
big. I'll bring
Yeah,
you
yeah,
all the
yeah.
stuff. It's cute. It's like I've got like a crown and character art and a candle and a book.
Okay.
Wait a
Whoa.
minute. Wait a minute. Meg, which way? Shift to your right a little bit. Just move to your right for me.
Oh,
I
the
know
book.
that's the
There it is.
book.
It's sitting
I know.
back there.
I literally just looked beyond you, and I was like, wait a minute. I spy with my little eye. Oh, that is so
Mm-hmm.
cute. I love that you have it right there. Yeah, I'm so proud of you. Honestly, I'm just so happy. See. This is honestly okay. Rant coming in. Sound the bells and the
Wee,
sirens.
wee,
Jordan.
wee.
Sound the
Thank you.
alarm.
Yeah, I love supporting indie authors. Whether you start indie and like launch into like trad publishing or you remain indie the whole time, I love supporting indie authors because this is it. This is the vibe, okay? The excitement, the community, like those are my favorite. But yes, Meg, I'm really excited. I'm really excited and I'm so grateful that you're here to share and talk about this journey with us. Like I just love it. I love getting the behind the scenes. I just love learning about the process and knowing like what it takes to get the book that I'm reading in front of me. And
Mhm.
I am obsessed with arcs. Give me an advanced reader anything. Give me something before everybody else. And yeah, I love
I
it.
got
Like,
you.
I'm
DM
so
me.
excited. Yeah, well, you gave it to me already. Like, I have
Well, yeah, but
it.
I gave
Like,
you
you,
the ebook. Let me give you the fun little.
girl,
Okay,
I'm
maybe
buying
we
this
need to
book.
give in. Yeah.
I know, she
I'll
keeps
buy it
saying
too.
she's going to send it to us, right?
Everyone needs another crown, I think.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's,
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's like a life message. Wow.
Ooh, yeah,
That's
deeper
like,
than I meant.
yeah. Okay, so yes, moving along.
I do have a question. So you said you've been working on this book for a long time, right? This was your own project. So do you see the whole story before you write it? Do you kind of make it up as you write it? What is your process of plotting wise? Like, how does that story form for you?
Good question,
Ooh,
Jordan.
okay.
Thank you.
I gotta do this without giving away any spoilers because I am a climax first kind of girly.
Me too.
Oh, we all. But okay,
Sorry,
you were saying.
without giving it away, you see the whole, like, how do you see the story?
So the like main conflict came to me first, and
Okay.
that was the scene that I just couldn't get out of my head, and I kind of plotted around it. I like to use this writing app called Motif. It's new-ish. I think it only came out like a year or two ago, but it's really incredible because you can go in and you can choose, okay, do I want to do Save the Cat? Do I want to do Hero's Journey? Do I want to do 3x structure, 5x structure, whatever? And then it will give you the blocks to like outline in that structure, which I think is really incredible. And you can like literally just go through and fill it in. And then I write chronologically. I have to write start to end. I can't jump around scenes the way that some people can. I just can't hold that in my head.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one in particular, I did the 5-act structure. And I already have the next one plotted out, which is exciting. I got my little stack of note cards and I'm excited to dive into it. I'll probably do another writing challenge at some point at the end of this year to just kind of jumpstart me.
Okay, good. Because I have questions. And
I want to know all your questions.
I need to know if they get answered in the next book, and if not, I need you to add it because I need to know. So
I'm excited.
I'm actually writing down the app you just mentioned because I know about Motif, but I've never used it. And I think I might write the same way as you, and that would be really helpful because I use Scrivener and Plotter, but that might
Okay.
help Motif.
Scrivener's also great. I just really Motif.
So if anyone doesn't know,
thank you.
Dev, if anyone doesn't know already, if you haven't caught it, Dev already has a book of poetry that's out in the world. So
does.
go get that to support her.
Meg, shut up.
It's upstairs in my room right now. I literally bought it right after the meetup.
I see. We love her. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But to add on to that, Dev is working. I'll give her a moment. Dev,
and also you did make me cry, so we have beef now.
Meg, that is so sweet. Thank you.
Oh no, now I'm making you cry. Okay, wait, now we don't have beef. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Dev is. I'm gonna hype you up some more. Dev is also working on her own romance novel right now. She's deep in the trenches of it. She's started other ones in the past, and then this one came to her as a series, and she has been in it. It's really fun to hear about her characters too. So that's why I like asking you, Meg, about like how you view this, because as someone that's never written outside of school or having students write it as a teacher, it's so interesting to me to hear how different authors see their characters or their world, like what comes. And so with that, adding onto that, Meg, so you saw the conflict. Was it more like the characters were more clear or the world was more clear? Because this is a fantasy world. So like, how did you flesh out the world? Was it just like obvious to you, or were you like, did you kind of have to figure some parts out?
I definitely had to figure some parts out, and some things about the big thing in this book for me is secrets, and who knows what and when do they know it. And so the biggest struggle for me as I went through writing this was figuring out when certain things get revealed to the
see that.
audience and when they get revealed to the characters, and many rewrites of, okay, well, he knows this here, but he doesn't know it here, and then changing it around and making it later to build suspense. One thing that I really liked doing was in Motif, you can do these character pages and also settings and objects. And they have these like templates where you put in like the character's name, and then you can do, they have like different, like almost think of them like cards. Cool. And it'll be like, okay, physical appearance, and it'll be like childhood wound or whatever. And so I did that for all my characters, all of my settings, all of my like important objects, which no spoilers, but you probably can guess what those are. And it slowly came together, but I will say that the last draft is very different than the first draft.
It's like, wait, what?
Why? I was trying to think of an important object. Tell me why.
You thought about croissants, didn't you?
I thought about the rolling pin. I was like, wait, how does the rolling pin fit into this? She was laminating the croissant. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay. So the rolling pin's not an object
to hit him with,
right?
She thinks
no comment. No comment.
Oh my gosh.
Book 2, use a rolling pin. She's writing it down.
Right. Just
oh my gosh. I've got my notebook over here, just squirreling things away.
Yeah, I love that. And so there is something I do want to know, similar to your plotting process, the characters, are any of these characters based on real people or you? It's really easy as authors for us to put ourselves into the work, but are these characters actually based on anyone you know, or like parts of you? Or are they just like fully made up? Like you were like, oh yeah, that sounds nice.
They're fully made up. I mean, there's definitely, I think you can't help but put parts of yourself into the main character. And especially, I think that Quinn is neurodivergent because I'm neurodivergent and it just happened. And so I see things in the writing where she does things like forgetting to turn the oven off, or she's impulsive and blurts something out and overshares. Yeah. And I'm like, you also have ADHD because that's how my brain works. And I wrote it, like it's in first person. So it's like, I wrote your brain. So I think in that sense, like there's definitely parts of yourself that will always make it into your main character, but it's largely fictional.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I will say my one accidental oopsie was I had like almost finished writing the book. And then my son, who's 4, got really into Phineas and Ferb. And I was watching Phineas and Ferb with him, and Doofenshmirtz's daughter, Vanessa, looked exactly like Vanessa in my book, and I was like, oh no. And I kept it because I was like, well, oops.
That's actually so hilarious because Vanessa so far is like one of my favorite characters. I just have had cut dry, like just dry. And like,
she's
just
still
like,
one of my favorites. Yeah.
Yeah, like just.
I love her. I have a soft spot for her.
I love her.
Yeah.
And so does Colette.
Don't give nothing away. But I hope she's there forever. Hope you're not.
I say nothing.
Off characters.
I say nothing.
Okay. Well, surprise. What time is it, Jordan?
This or that. Woo! Wait. So we are in case you have not listened to a previous interview, we play this or that with our guests. So we're going to rapid fire questions. And all of these are in relation to the romance genre. So your personal preferences, not necessarily what you write, but just what you prefer.
As a reader.
Okay, I'm so indecisive, but I will try my best.
It's okay. Just the first thing that comes to your mind, and you can love both of them. It doesn't mean you dislike the other one.
Yes.
To be clear, everybody. She's not hating on anything.
Right. The internet gets confused about that sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll start, and then I'll have Deb do the last bit. Okay. In your romance, contemporary or fantasy?
Fantasy.
One bed or who did this to you?
Who did this to you?
Yeah. Audio or physical?
Physical.
Small town or sports romance?
Ooh, sports.
Okay, surprising. I like it.
Romance.
Yeah, I know. They're so good.
Yeah,
so
can't
good.
we all?
Standalone or series?
Series.
Yeah. Dev, take it away.
Yeah. Yep. Paperback or hardcover?
Hardcover, but with the dust jacket off.
Yes.
Ooh, I like
the
that
correct answer.
Yeah, of course. Second chance or friends to lovers?
Friends to lovers.
Okay. We're reading. We're relaxed. Our beverage choice. Is it hot or iced?
Iced.
Yeah. Correct answer. Okay. discreet cover or cartoon cover?
Discreet.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that. Sometimes I don't want to be too upfront. I want to have a little mystery. I like that.
Well, they're
Okay.
so cute. They look it's a
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
vibe
it's
I
a
on
haven't
vibe.
seen
itself.
a fantasy cartoon cover do it super well, and I mostly read fantasy, so that skews
That's
my
fair.
Oh, that is true, and that's fair. Yeah. Okay, last one. I'm not giving you any time to think about this. Quick, name your top 3 book boyfriends.
Oh God, Draco, Aaron, and
Okay.
Rysand.
Yeah.
Rysand, sorry. Oh God, I
Rysand.
said Rysand. Rysand. I know this.
Can we please have the Sarah J. Maas? Can we have the Maas first please come for her now?
Yeah, for
That is
Rysand.
Okay, but you know what? I do say Manon, and I also get absolutely mocked for that, even though it is in the pronunciation guide.
Wait,
No, it is Manon. It is
Manon.
Manon.
It
Yeah,
is.
Manon.
That's what the Manon.
It's the worst name ever, but Manon is correct. So all of you calling her Manon, unfortunately, my loves, you're wrong. Okay?
But also, if it's in your brain, who cares?
I care.
Well, I mean, yeah, I do when I hear it. It irks me. It's like GIF or GIF. It's not a GIF. This is not peanut butter. This
I
is
hate
not
when
peanut butter,
people say
Dev.
Jif. Because
Me
no,
too.
I don't say Jif.
No,
Jif
that's peanut
immediately
butter.
takes me to Jiffy. Or what's the
Yes.
cornbread? Yeah,
No,
that'll take me
Jiffy.
right out of the conversation.
That's the
Yeah.
peanut butter. That's what I'm
Graphic
saying. We're saying the
interchange
same
format.
thing.
Yes.
Sorry,
Graphics is, it's not graphics.
Yeah.
Yes,
No,
you.
are
Okay,
people
but now I'm
saying
being
graphics?
hypocritical.
Are people
No,
saying graphics?
but
Okay.
that's what it would be if it was GIF. It would the acronym would have to start with a J, which it
Ignorant
does
sluts. Ignorant
Right.
sluts.
We're going to listen to
How
you because
dare
you've got
you.
the degree. You've got the degree. So whatever you say, babe. Yeah, I'm down. Okay.
not. I say Rysand. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I did not say that.
Okay, I love that's like this or that is always like one of my favorite parts of the interview because like we can really see when people like freak out because they don't know, oh God, what's my answer?
Yeah,
So
that was
thank you for playing
stressful.
that with us.
No, I like
yeah,
it, but you had it. That was pretty good. That was the fastest we've heard so far. We had one person
I think
refuse
so.
to answer. So, I mean, that was
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
So you did great. So far
A+.
you killed this or that.
So, but then I'm curious. So you said, is that what you mostly read then also? Is it mostly just fantasy, romantasy?
say
Like, what do you mostly read?
I read like 90% romantasy, and I have since I was a kid. I mean, when I was a
Mhm.
kid, it was fantasy. I used to read a lot of dragon stuff. So Iron Flame and Fourth Wing are like right up my alley.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mostly read fantasy. I've dabbled in contemporary romance. I've read some Emily Henry, but I don't know. There's something where it's, if I wanted to read about having to charge my cell phone, I would just go live my life, you know? The mundane things. I'm like, I want to read about people whose problems are like a cryptic prophecy or how to mount a dragon without falling off.
Yeah.
I love it. Where there's no wrong
I
answers.
love that.
Where there's no wrong answers. You can just.
Yeah.
I love that description. Once again, you
so
pass. Good job. You're winning right now.
You're killing it, Meg. You're killing it.
Who are some of your favorite fantasy authors then? What are you like right now, kind of your following
vibe.
must
Ooh.
read?
Okay, so I have to drop an indie author first. Katie Wismer, who wrote the Marionette series. Absolutely fantastic. If you haven't read it, it's on Kindle Unlimited. It is so good. It's a vampire one, which isn't typically my cup of tea, but her stuff is so good. And also maybe
Katie who?
Katie Wismer? Weismer? I hope I'm saying it right. But her books are so good.
Okay.
I love Carrie Maniscalco. I love Rebecca Yarros, obviously. Sarah J. Maas. Anything that's like a good Hermione fanfic. We all know that Sen Lin Yu is like queen. So those would be the first ones that come to mind.
Yeah, I love that. That's a good range too. And I love that you include the AO3 fanfic stuff because people don't forget to read your fanfics. I am guilty. Christina has sent me so many fanfics that she thinks I would love. And when I tell you I've cracked them open and haven't gotten like too into them, and not because I'm not into them, but I just forget that they exist. So yeah, I love that you're shouting that out because we all definitely need to support our fanfic authors because they are doing big things.
Hey, Sarah J. Maas started as fanfic. So she started on Pad, or she started her.
She was just posting
Yeah, when
them
she was like
stories.
16, I think.
Yeah. Can
Go
you imagine?
find. I mean, you never know whose work you'll later see. Front and center in Barnes and Noble. Just go find it. Be the person to find it.
For sure read fanfic that is way better than some of the most highly anticipated trad published novels that have come out this year.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I've read some of the
believe it.
stuff. I'm like,
because there's no limits, there's no bounds. They're not writing to market or to sell. And I think that a lot of times that comes through more authentic and like cuts to the core of it rather than, okay, what can I put in my query letter that's going to make it seem interesting?
Yeah. They're writing just for the story and just to get that story out to people. That reads different. Okay, with everything you've read this year, what has been your favorite read?
Oh gosh.
Or top, whatever you have to say.
Yeah. If you have a top 3, I won't deny you.
Oh gosh.
Okay.
Okay, should I do an indie, a trad pub, and a fanfic?
Sure.
Love that.
I mean,
yes.
Girl did her homework.
Okay.
Yeah.
For indie, I have to go with the last book in the Marionette series, which I believe is Ruthless Ends. That one is incredible. I think it actually came out at the end of last year, but for trad published, I really like The Honey Witch by Sydney Shields.
Oh, okay.
And then fanfic, I'm going to say an oldie but a goodie. It was new to me, Rosemary for Remembrance.
Was that Hermione? Yeah. Of course it was.
Of course it was. Well, I told you, I'm in a phase. I have ADHD. I'm in my hyperfixation era.
No, I sometimes wonder if I'm undiagnosed because I'm like,
I feel like
weird. I'm not neurodivergent, but I do all those things too. Weird.
Right.
Yeah. TikTok figured it out before I did. I will say that.
Yeah. I recently said that to my husband and he's, yeah, honey.
Yeah, you might be. I know. My son has autism and his dad is always looking at me like, you too?
Touch of the chism.
If this thing is genetic, if it's coming from people, if one of us gave it to him, it's you, babe. So, yeah, I'm down. I love it. Hey, we just think a little differently, you know? But yeah, I love that. Thank you for sharing. I love that you also did your homework enough to share 3 different things. Like, you're just, I could kiss you. That's perfect. Love that. So yeah, and that's good because you've just also given like our listeners 3 recs. So appreciate that. Thank you.
Moving forward, you said you have the second one. This is going to be a duology because that was one of my questions. Like going into this, I didn't actually know. I was at I think it was 48%. And I remember thinking, is this going to wrap up in this book? I was like, I should reach out to Mike. No, I want to be surprised. Is this going to be cliffhanger or not? I don't know. I'm going to wait and see. I decided just to be shooketh, and I was. So this is going to be a duology. You said you have it all mapped out. You're ready to go. You're ready to write. Do you already see yourself continuing with doing something new? Do you have ideas, or are you just going to focus on the next book and then you want to come up with fresh ideas? Like where are you going with the writing career?
Oh, I love that question. I definitely have a million ideas. I have 3 or 4 specifically that I feel are fleshed out enough that I could sit down and start to write them. Nothing that's plotted out the way that the second one in duology is. One concept that I would love to play around with one day, and who knows if I'll write it or not, but I would love to do Fourth Wing, but for the Coquette girlies, and it's all Pegasus. I think that would be really cool.
So cute. That is actually so cute and cozy.
I think that would be really fun, but I would like to stay in the realm of cozy but still high stakes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So like cozy, that's like your niche. That's where you like to write in.
I'm a cottagecore girly, so you write what you know. And I have too many grandma hobbies for them to not make it into my book.
Well, and like we said earlier, it comes through that you know what you're talking about. Like with the things that are relatable in a fantasy world. Do you know what I mean? Like that's the thing about this book is you feel at home in a world that isn't your own because of the way you write the things that people are familiar with. Even if they don't know the whole process, they're like, oh yeah, I understand this all. So
gosh, thank you.
Yeah, I mean,
please go put that on.
Thank you. That was a good one, right? That was a good way to say it.
That was a beautiful, wordsmith over here.
It happens every once in a while.
But Jordan's right. You are so descriptive. Like you feel like you're there. One of my favorite scenes. Well, I'm not too far into it. Like I'm only at the halfway point. So aside from all the kitchen scenes, because I love those, but when Quinn is going through the market and she's describing like the vendors and like the different stalls and the wielders and what they're doing, that's one of my favorite things because as I was reading that, I could literally picture it. And I know that some readers have a hard time imagining what they're seeing, but I feel like you do such a great job with your writing and just literally painting the scenery in a way that you feel like you're there. So
Without getting
that
bored.
walk without getting bored, with like it felt like I was just like, ooh, and oh, what's over there? And oh, look what's down there. Like, I don't know. It was very like, it felt good to read. I felt like I was there, and I love when that happens in books. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's just something about your writing style that I really enjoy. Like I said, I love your writer voice. I love the way you bring the words into my imagination, because I have no problem picturing things. And so when I read something and it makes sense and it flows, and I'm not just like, wait, what just happened? I really appreciate that. So you're
Oh,
killing it, truly.
gosh, thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Okay, I do want
Of
to
course.
let's keep talking about the book, because I can't believe I haven't said this before, because this was like the biggest thing for me when I read it. Okay, the relationship with her mother, and I'll stick to like what we know in the beginning. Like, to me, that was just as well written as like your description of the scenery and the kitchen stuff. Like, I don't have that relationship with my mother, but I've seen it in people I know. I am very familiar with it. And the kind of emotional manipulation and abuse, it was so well written. I think, like, to me, this is going to sound weird, but that was my favorite relationship in the book. Not in that, like, I enjoyed it. Like, I didn't love the relationship itself, but the way it was presented was so apt, and the way you wrote it was perfect. The complex emotions that she feels towards her mother, I think, were so well stated. And as the reader, you're frustrated. You want to say the obvious and just get out of there. But because that's what the emotional manipulation is, right? That's part of the web, and the feeling of still needing to feel like you owe her something, or that you owe her even your existence in her life. Like, it was so perfectly done, I think. Yeah, it was my favorite relationship in that it felt the most significant, because I mean, that was her mom. So I like how it wasn't swept behind as a lot of other series do. And it's, oh, I had this trauma from my parent. It's, no, this is a real, like, the biggest part of her life. And it kept being a big part of her life in the story without it being the main focus. So I just think the balance you put on that was perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah, like,
I think that's the fun thing about fantasy is you get to explore real deep problems in a fantastical setting. And one of the things that I really wanted to do in this book is to show a main character who's a little bit older, like my MC is not a teenager, and to show someone who's struggling with breaking generational trauma, because I think so many people out there have that mother wound. And, it's people joke about in fantasy books, like one parent's always dead, or, you've got like evil stepmother vibes, but it's often so much more nuanced than that. And I wanted to explore that in a fantasy setting and show how the way that people love us doesn't equate to our worth, but it can help us to become the most powerful and idealized version of ourselves.
I like Jordan said, I agree, because I even messaged Jordan. I was like, I can't stand the mom. I was like, I can't stand her.
I had to be like, Dev, that's the point. You're
know,
not supposed to like her. No one's rooting for the mom. No one's rooting
Listen,
for
man,
mom.
some of the time I was writing her, I was so mad at my fingers for what I was writing that I was like...
But it was perfect representation of an emotionally manipulative person. I think...
She gaslights the heck out of her.
Absolutely. Every decision throughout the day is bracing herself for the consequence of that, and weighing, if I do this, I'll face this. Is this action worth what I'll face later? Like, constantly. It was the perfect representation of that manipulation. And yeah, Deb has to finish. Like, all of you have to go finish this book so we can talk more in depth about where we're at now.
There's so many spoilers, but
I know.
Yeah. Don't spoil it for me. I'll be done tonight, hopefully. If not, tomorrow morning. But yeah, I know. I'm going to finish, okay?
Okay.
I can't. I'm excited.
But quick, talk about the smut.
Yeah. I will say I have not reached any smut, so don't give away too much.
Well, never mind.
And she's halfway through. We love a slow burn.
Yeah. Where I have been, they have kissed. So that's like a thing that has happened. But They've done nothing else, so don't give it away from me.
The kiss and run away. The kiss and run away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I text Jordan. I said, "Did she turn the oven off?"
She goes, no, is the whole kitchen on fire right now? She's like, is there a giant fire?
End of novel. The castle burned down. The
I was like,
Quinn
this girl burnt her tart and then took off after a kiss. What, Quinn? If you don't get your ass back in this kitchen and turn this oven off with this burnt tart.
Look, he's a grown
no,
man. He can see what's in front of him. He can fix the problem.
Right. Yeah. And he,
Well,
he
at
did
this
end up
point,
washing
maybe.
the dishes. I mean, that's not a
Oh yeah, that
spoiler,
was so cute. That was so cute.
that was so. I was like, oh, what a man.
Thank you. I love that. I love
Yeah.
that scene. That was a fun one
Yeah.
to write.
That was very tender,
Okay.
very nice. I like that.
So you said talk about the smut. What do you want to know?
Oh no, I was just trying to change the subject away from the seriousness. I was just
Oh yeah.
I don't need to know anything other than more.
It's open door.
No,
It's open door.
No,
It's like
I know it is. No, I just
Vanilla, but it's open door.
Okay. Okay. I love
Yeah,
open
it's-
door.
keep it open.
That's
Okay,
like
good.
one of
And
the
that's good for
scariest things about publishing. Is, oh God, anyone I know who reads this is gonna know that I wrote it.
Yeah. That's
That's a
terrifying.
complicated feeling. My mother-in-law actually helped me with some of my copy editing.
Oh, I saw that in the afterwards notes. I saw that and I was like,
She was my final grammar check, but I literally turned all the text to white in the 5 or 6 more smutty scenes that there are. And I was like, don't read this. Your son is my husband. Do not, please. I'm going to walk into traffic if you read this. So if there's an extra comma in the smut, that's why.
okay, that's
I
hilarious
love that.
because I'm not a writer, but like I've said in past episodes, I found out my dad listens to all of these.
He does.
And
I'm sure he's listening to this one.
And also, though, I can see where people listen. So shout out to my mother-in-law. I'm pretty sure you're secretly listening to these. Hey,
Called
Lorelai,
out.
what's up?
She's being
Oh my
supportive.
gosh. I know. Jordan, you have to tell me where everyone's listening because I wonder if my family's listening. I have an aunt who she supports everything I do. Okay.
Where's
I could
she
start
at?
selling salt.
Where's she at?
She's in Jamaica. So if you have anyone
I don't
pop
think
up in
we
Jamaica,
do much. I don't think we do.
I'm happy because that's really where the fear. If we ever get a pop up,
We have New York, but not.
I will. New York is also terrifying because
But
that's
you
where
also
I'm from,
never know.
So
Yeah, that's fine.
that's suspicious.
An old ex
But
just
yeah,
finding a way
right.
listening. Like,
Listening just wants to hear my
Oh my
voice.
gosh.
Well, suck it. You lost. Get out of here. Scram.
Could have had a real one.
Yeah. But yeah, oh my gosh. No, this is so fun. Okay, so Crown Prophecy is coming out October 28th. Know that it will be a duology, so maybe a cliffhanger. Like you guys know, like I've said a million times so far, I have not finished it. So if it is a cliffhanger, make sure you stay tuned. Follow Meg on
I call
all
it
her
a
socials.
soft cliffhanger. You want to
Okay.
know what happens next, but it's not like we're actively dangling from a ledge.
Okay, that makes me happy.
Meg, how do you feel about that? That's how I feel like it is. It's a cliffhanger. You want to know more, but also you're not literally with an axe over.
There's a lot of stuff that's unresolved.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I did the cliche writer thing of the last 4 words. Or like the last 4 words are like I remember them talking about this when the Gilmore Girls revival came out. And it was like, Mom, what? You know, and then insert the last word.
yeah.
I mean, presumably people have seen it by now. But yeah, there's a lot of unresolved stuff, a lot of open plot lines, but it doesn't stop at the climax, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I don't stop there either.
Yeah. Oh, Jordan.
That was just kind of a soft
And now we walk by it. We're just gonna walk by it like it's just laying on the street. Okay.
Talking about it, not me. That's fine.
Guys, I had a Pinot Noir. This is my first wine in like months, so please bear with me.
Before we close out, Meg, if there was like 1 or 2 things you want people to know about your book, short, sweet, what would you want them to know? And then after that, also make sure to drop your socials.
Socials, yes.
Ooh, okay. I would say that this is the perfect cozy read if you get bored by cozy reads and you want something a little more, but you want something atmospheric. If you
Yes.
want a protagonist who is not a teenager, who is dealing with generational trauma, who is a little bit of a hothead and maybe doesn't know when to shut her mouth, and a dark-haired love interest who is snarky and flirty and honestly a little bit selfish. This is the book for you. Gosh, I'm trying to think. I think I said all the tropes. Um, we do have a few side couples. What's the word that I'm trying to think of right now? The opposite of heteronormative. Queer normative. It's a queer normative world. So there is some representation in there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Deb just
Okay.
put it together. Oh no, I watched
Yeah,
it happen
yeah.
on her face.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Okay. Okay, sorry. I'm excited. Okay.
She feels validated.
Yeah.
Yeah, you figured it out. Yeah, and
Yep.
I hope that this story finds the right people, the people who need it and the people who it will speak to. There is another one coming, so you can follow me youtube.com/Megan Acuna or Instagram.com/Meg.Acuna and thecrownprophecy.com if you want more news and updates.
Thank you so much, Meg. And
Yeah.
thanks for listening to us ramble about The Crown Prophecy by Meg Acuna. If you're looking for more romance recs, be sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok and over in Discord at Romance Recs Pod. You can find our favorite book recs from our episodes as well as behind the scenes content and now interviews. Again, that's at Romance Recs Pod. So make sure to give us a follow and we'll be back next week with another episode. Thanks. And thank you, Meg. Again.
Thank you
Thanks
guys.
for
1,000 times
being here,
over.
Meg.
Bye.